Eric Adams has fallen as the mayor of New York City. The feds indicted him. He's trying to fight it. But we all know when the feds come and knocking at your door, it's pretty much over. They have like a 99% success rate of bringing people down. So bye-bye Eric Adams. Eric Adams, I believe, is African American. But the person who may replace him if Eric Adams is forced out of office is this guy, Jumaane Williams. He has a title of public city advocate in New York City, paying him a handsome salary of almost $150,000 a year. But you're probably thinking, who gives a damn? If he replaces Eric Adams, it's not a problem. Right? Wrong. Jumaane Williams, I can argue, is going to be even a worse problem than Eric Adams. And I hate to use this word on this channel because I am Pan-African, but I believe that Brother Tariq Nasheed would call him a tether. Now, here's why I'm saying this about this brother. Jumaane Williams is not an African American, okay? He came here with his family from Grenada. Shout outs to him. A lot of New Yorkers not from the African American community, but they still black. And a lot of us love them and they love us. But this is a brother who is big on supporting migrants, illegal or legals, into the country from what I understand. He's a part of the Working Families political party. But I want to prove to you that Jumaane Williams is a big supporter of not of New York citizens, but of illegals. Check this clip out.
No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
New York City public advocate Jumaane Williams moved by the sheer numbers.
I'm speaking as a son of black immigrants. This is a proud moment for me. This is very beautiful. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That is him crying, breaking down, because all of these West African migrants are in New York City. These guys who don't have anywhere to stay, they're costing taxpayers money, which is crazy because his money that he's paid is not even from those same migrants. It's from, taxpayers in New York City, but he's over there breaking down crying, right? But I want you to hear his other story. His family is also immigrant based, and this is him speaking at another conference or another outing.
What's up, America? My parents immigrated here in the 1960s from the beautiful island of Grenada. I am a first generation American. I know Trump is probably upset that I'm a black man of immigrant status, but I am an American.
I hate to use this word tether, right? But Brother Tariq Nasheed created this terminology to discuss some of the guys that are basically trying to latch on to the struggle of African Americans to spin a narrative that actually hurts African Americans. Basically, you want to pretend to be us and then use what you're saying to hurt us to basically, try to drive another agenda. And Brother Jumaane Williams is a tether, right, in this case. And I'm going to prove it to you why he's a threat to all African Americans in New York City, because what he's about to do is so dangerous and it's so shady. And even as a Pan-African, this is too far, all right? As a brother in the community, what he's about to do is so nasty because he's speaking on the rights of migrants, okay? And look what he's about to say. And the name of this video is Civil Disobedience is Needed to Protect Migrants. Let's check it out.
I want to say to those who question myself and Councilmember Ydanis Rodriguez and the others that were arrested with us, who question why we were in the streets, who question why we were blocking a van with people in it. If you come out of a building with no lights and no sirens, you are a van with passengers. If you are questioning what we were doing there on Martin Luther King Day, please shut your mouth. Don't let that man's name come out of your lips.
Okay, so what he's about to do is he's about to try to skew Martin Luther King, right? Like, this is a brother from Trinidad or Grenada, right? Which is okay. But he's going to spin Martin Luther King's narrative as to push whatever nonsense he wants to push for migrants, when that ain't what Martin Luther King was fighting for. Martin Luther King was fighting for the rights of African American people, for civil rights. But this guy is going to try to spin it to make it something else that it's not. And he keeps on doing this because he wants to tether, okay? He wants to cosplay. This is the same thing that Kamala Harris does. These people don't want anything to do with the African American community. I'm not saying other brothers and sisters don't, because they do, right? People show us love. Well, people like that, like this, their whole identity is in Grenada, but you want to grift off us to try to prove a point when we can't grift off you to prove that point. That's what we're trying to say. So watch what he tries to do.
If you dare question why we were in those streets. We are in the streets because we follow the best tradition of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and so many like him. There are people who want to sanitize who Dr. King was, who want to sanitize his message. But let us be clear. He was an agitator. He was a disruptor. He wanted to disrupt the norm. Do not confuse nonviolence, which I agree with being docile.
He meant to say docile. I don't know why Eric Adams and this guy can't talk. But that has nothing to do with why you were arrested with somebody else. Dr. King has nothing to do with that. But because this guy, who's from Grenada, shout out to my Grenadians, he can't mention somebody from Grenada that might have done the same thing that people can, relate to. So he's gonna try to cosplay as a black man. Let's try to protect these migrants, and then try to say Martin Luther King would want you to do the same thing for these migrants that are taking your tax dollars. That's all he's trying to do. Let's continue.
We are going to disrupt and shut down whatever we need to do until we make people understand we are fighting to uproot the same system that Dr. King was.
No, you're not. You're excuse my language, you're a liar. Okay? No, you're not. Dr. King was not fighting the system for migrants. That's tethering. That's a lie. Okay? Dr. King was fighting for the rights of African American citizens, not for illegal migrants and all the other people that you want to bring in because you guys are cowards and you want to cosplay off of somebody else's hard work. Because let me just stop there before I get so offensive, okay? You guys are cowards though. This is not true. No disrespect to nobody else's community. Dr. King ain't died for Haitians. He ain't died for Grenadians. He ain't died for Jamaicans. No disrespect to none of them. Okay? That ain't who he died for. That ain't who he's fighting for. Okay? Dr. King had respect for all groups, but he only knew one group. And yes, he talked to Kenneth Kaunda in 1960, a lot of African leaders. He met a lot of people. Sure, he understood the problems that other blacks had. But how dare you try to relate this struggle to Dr. King when Dr. King struggled, he don't know nothing about this. It's a lie.
And I say uproot because I always want to make it clear that the system is working how it was designed to work. The people who are on the bottom were supposed to be there. We don't need to change the system. We need to uproot it and replace it.
Yeah, he wants to replace it, all right. He wants to replace African Americans in the system. You see that? You see what they're doing? Same tactic Kamala's doing. Let's try to go ahead and get African Americans riled up so they'll think that this injustice that's going to them is happening to others, and replace the system just like how he's here, and replace you along with the system, because they are the replacers wanting to replace you in the system. These guys don't want to give nothing to the community. These guys want to replace and grift. They don't put nothing into the game. They're cowards. Guys like this are cowards. Now I'm gonna say this, you have a lot of brothers and sisters in the African American community or in the Jamaican community or the Haitian community that, that's with us and they rock. But they don't do shit like this. This is disrespectful.
We in this room are in the best tradition of this country. I get upset when I hear people saying what's happening now is not what America is. Donald Trump and his cronies are not who America are. America was founded on those values. We need to be clear about that. That is the tradition of America. But I
what are those values?
Thank the Lord that I serve, that there are people in this room who have pushed back from the beginning of this country.
Does your Lord know you're a liar?
And we are the ones who were in the street fighting for Robbie Ragbear. We are the ones who were in the street fighting for Gene. We are the ones who are fighting for the people who are called other in any country.
No, we're not fighting for that, bruh. That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. I'm an immigrant in other countries. Polish ain't gonna never fight for me. Okay, I'm in Uganda. Uganda's worried about, shout out to them, they worried about themselves. So why are you using Dr. Martin Luther King to say that we are fighting for the rights of others at the expense of ourselves? Because you are not us. That's why you can do this. See, so many people try to pretend to be us, have our swag and all that kind of stuff. Then you're trying to hurt the community. This is not everybody, but I gotta call this out too. This is fake and phony. This needs to be called out. Somebody needs to sit his ass down. He's from Grenada. Okay? Grenadians, shout out to them, would never fight for African Americans like you fighting for your people to whoever else they're coming to come over there. That's the truth. Especially with other folks' tax dollars. We got to be clear here. You're a liar.
I stand here proud because in that street with those folks was a proud, proud day. It was the closest that I felt.
Why you keep doing all this? Because you've been lying so much. You just about to, what's going on, bro?
To what must have happened when people were fighting decades ago. Nobody here was there. Nobody can say that they are those people that we celebrate. But the feeling of fear that I had and understanding that the morality of what was going on dictated that I continued to move forward within that fear. So I'm here to tell folks, some people say don't be afraid, don't be fearful. Fear is not a spirit of God. But I'm here to tell you, while that is true, I am human and so are you. So fear is a human emotion.
So basically he got arrested for like a day or so because he was protesting that somebody else got arrested for supporting migrants. So all of a sudden now you want to act like you're Dr. King, who was getting dog sicked on them and getting hosed down because they had to sit in the back of the bus or sit in the colored only when your family was in Grenada, not experiencing any of these things, but here you are tethering. And this is why the New York City and people in the African-American community, if this is the guy that you're gonna bring in, you're out, you're toast, you're washed. And this is no disrespect to any other of the black groups, but I dare say, none of us can go and cosplay Marcus Garvey or cosplay Bob Marley or any of the other blacks in other countries that do similar things and then try to respin their narrative without those groups calling us out. Go to South Africa, try to respin Nelson Mandela's message to something that's not right, and a South African is gonna get you straight real quick. Any popular Nigerian and try to respin their narrative to support you while you're hurting Nigerians, and they're gonna get you straight real quick. Do it in Rwanda, they're gonna get you straight real quick. Do it here in Uganda, try to respin a narrative of somebody in this country that did a lot for their people and then make it your own where it hurts or dehumanizes that particular group, and they're gonna get you straight real quick. This is why this guy is more dangerous than Eric Adams. He's way more dangerous. He's gonna replace blacks quickly. He has an agenda, okay? So you guys better hope that Eric Adams gets off because this guy is terrible. New York City is on its way down. A guy like Jumaane Williams, he is a problem. You never pick somebody else over your own citizens. Why are you fighting for the rights of them? And the guy wants to be governor. Go figure. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again with an episode of Fair Use. I'm out.